intro song already done. Alright, so what the fuck are we gonna talk about?
Chris wanted to talk about...
Should we do an intro? I don't know.
That is the intro.
That's the intro?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. But, Chris, what do you want to talk about? You had a topic.
Yes, my topic was DC's extremely pushy movie slate that they got going on that goes all the way to like 2020.
Yeah, I did hear about that, yeah.
Right. So, what it was, the other day, Warner Brothers had their big, like, press event to investors and all that stuff. So they announced, like, 10 DC Comics movies, 4 Lego movies, and 3 Harry Potter spin-off movies.
Wait, they control Lego?
They have they have the movie rights to Lego.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So they're making another Lego movie and a Lego Batman movie.
I heard about that. I heard about
Yeah.
Lego Batman. Yeah.
Which was probably going to be the best Batman movie between
Ever,
now and
ever,
2020.
yeah. Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
Batman v Superman, The Reckoning, or whatever it is.
Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, what? I don't know.
Justice.
Okay, so what DC movies were announced? Do you have the list?
I got the list right
All right.
here.
Oh.
So we got Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Right.
Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, starring Gal Gadot, Justice League Part 1,
Oh, God.
The Flash, Aquaman, Shazam, which is really Captain Marvel, but I think they're going to try to change his name.
Are they
They
gonna
already did change his name
in
to
the
Shazam.
comics. Right?
Really?
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
It is stupid.
It is foolish. Justice League Part 2, Cyborg, and then all the way in 2020, because they want nothing to do with Ryan Reynolds, is another Green Lantern.
Just as far as possible.
Just as far as possible.
See, that doesn't even bother me because, like, when they remade the Hulk, like, I thought the Incredible Hulk was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
like
like,
it.
yeah, like, you know, way better than the first one.
And that only came out
Absolutely.
like 4 years
Yeah,
after
just ignore
that first
the
Hulk.
shitty one and just, you know,
Right.
move forward. Yeah.
I don't see why they can't do that. I guess the Green Lantern was so shitty that they can't.
I don't know.
I thought it was weird that like a Spider-Man movie came out so close to the ending of Sam Raimi.
That's a whole different argument. Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying along those same lines.
That's not because the original Spider-Man trilogy was bad. It's just like, let's make more money, and we only...
Right.
Spider-Man is such a valuable property, they have to do something.
Right.
And you're seeing that with X-Men, but X-Men's, I guess, better suited to just, like, doing more
They're
movies.
just doing more because
Yeah.
there's so much.
With Spider-Man,
There's so
it's like,
much, yeah.
there's a certain point where you can't make movies with the same, you know, actor, so you have
Yeah,
to,
of course.
just reboot it again and again. We're gonna keep seeing that every couple movies reboot.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I mean, that Green Lantern movie will obviously be a reboot. No Ryan Reynolds.
That's what he's Deadpool now, right?
That's
Supposedly?
that's
Rumors.
the rumor that
Yeah.
he is going to
Which is
be
a terrible idea, but...
Deadpool again. I don't know. He was okay in the X-Men Wolverine movie.
Yeah, but doesn't it not make sense to cast a famous well-known actor as
That
a
is
character
true.
with a mask?
But
Who can always has to wear a mask?
Well, look at Hugo Weaving in V for Vendetta.
right, he also hates doing those types of movies.
Yeah.
He's like outwardly said he's been in what Lord of the Rings, Transformers, V for Vendetta, Captain America, and he's like I don't like doing this anymore.
Yeah. But you know,
And-
like Ryan Reynolds, like he's not like this like distinguished actor. He's like, you know, attractive, funny guy.
Well,
actor.
that's the thing too. What you could say
Yeah.
that about Bradley Cooper in Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was only his voice, and he's
That's true. I'm not saying that you
Yeah.
can't do voice acting. I'm just saying, like, for
Right.
such a big, you know, for such a he's a popular character, Deadpool.
he is a popular.
And like to cast an act, like, you know, Marvel, they cast a lot of like no-name actors.
That's true.
For a lot,
When-
which
then
is smart.
They made them names
Yeah,
because they're in Marvel movies.
yeah, but
Right.
they can lock them into cheap actor prices early on. That's the they learn their mistake from Robert Downey Jr. and they have to pay him like all their money.
Well,
so they're like, you know.
He also has all the talent.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not saying, you know, and he's a big draw, which
That's- yeah.
is a good thing for them. But then there's a lot of actors who are good actors. It's
Right.
just they're not really known for anything else prior to Marvel, so
Yeah.
they're made into stars like you said.
Yeah.
But then they're also cheaper than your Robert
I
Downey
don't know
Jr.
if I agree with that statement. I think I agree with that for Thor and Loki. pretty much people in Thor, and then no one else. Like maybe you could say Chris Evans, but he had like a couple of decent roles before that.
Yeah.
But like Scarlett Johansson was big. Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner and Scarlett Johansson were both like Academy Award nominated actors prior to being in Avengers
Marvel movies,
or in Marvel.
But then
movies,
again, with Scarlett Johansson, you know, like Black Widow was just sort of like a side character in Iron Man, and then became a bigger character in the movies.
Right.
So that's evolution. They adapted to, you know, what they, you know, saw was popular.
Okay. So who would you have play Green Lantern in the new movie?
Oh, that's tough.
Is assuming that it's Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
I mean,
they could totally not do Hal Jordan.
They could not do Hal Jordan
do
just
like
to
Jon
stay
Stewart
as
or
far away from that
Fucking
story.
Guy Gardner, even.
Who would you have play? Either any character. I'm interested. I want.
I have no idea. Like, not Ryan Reynolds. That'd be
Not Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that's my only stipulation. Yeah, like, see, that's the thing is like I could try to make predictions about actors for like movies, but then like, you know, oftentimes I'm surprised by either how good or how bad an actor turned out to be. Like, I know who are they talking about for? They're talking about Joaquin Phoenix for Doctor Strange.
They've been talking about Joaquin Phoenix. They've been talking about Jared Leto.
Keanu too, I think.
Oh God.
Can I make my answer Keanu Reeves as Green Lantern?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. No, he should be Superman.
That's true.
That was the role he wanted to play, was Superman.
That's true.
Have you seen any of the clips from like the unmade Superman movie?
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
I haven't seen any clips. I've just seen pictures of him with like long hair and the suit like that.
Because that was like Superman Return, or not Superman Return. It's like after Superman had died. What's that story called? Superman
Apocalypse.
Return of is that it?
Return?
After
But after he
Death
gets-
and Return of Superman.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I forget what, because like Superman Returns just immediately soils it because you think of that movie, but you know, like the actual story of where Superman dies and comes back instead of like going on a vacation for 5 years.
Yes.
Or whatever. So, I mean, I thought that'd be a pretty ballsy movie actually. And Nicolas Cage, for good or for bad, would make it interesting. You know, that's.
I think I would go based curiosity alone.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. As long as you get ass in the seats, that's all that matters for like movie making.
That's true.
You know,
asses
finance.
and seats.
Yeah.
Asses and
Doesn't matter how shitty
So-
it is.
That's a lot of casting for these DC movies has also been pretty weird because you know you have Henry Cavill as Superman.
Who I think is good. You can have the argument about disliking the movie, which we could go on forever because I like it and everyone hates it.
I don't like it. Yeah.
But I think he's fine, and I think that movie's fine. Moving on.
But you have
Gloss over
him
that.
as Superman, the biggest superhero in history. You know.
My man.
And you have this no-name, essentially, actor playing him. And then you have Ben Affleck as Batman, who is a big-name actor.
Very big.
And then you have, for the rest of the Justice League cast, you have, like, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She's relatively unknown, unless you see the Fast and
Unless
Furious
you
movies.
know every Fast and Furious movie.
Which you should.
And that's another conversation because do we think she's a good pick? Because she's quite attractive, but I think if you're Wonder Woman, you gotta be more than 80 pounds.
I mean,
She needs to
I
add
think
some
she's.
muscle.
I think she's good. I mean, so far, from what I've seen from Fast and Furious, which isn't a lot, but what I've heard about her as a person, she used to be in the Israeli military.
Oh.
So already there.
It's pretty legit.
I did not know that.
Yeah, which is the common people who are like, oh, I think she's too skinny. Well, she already kicked multiple asses
In actual life.
in real
Well,
life.
actors
Whoops.
change their appearance all the time, especially when it comes to
Right,
like,
and
being
she
muscular.
has even said
No.
that she's
That
bulking up for the role.
that one sentence I concede. I did not know that at all.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
You know, pullback statement.
Pull it back.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Redaction.
Yeah, she was in the military, so she has some cred there
Yeah.
as far as ass kicking goes.
Okay.
And I'm
And
sure-
I think it's like less of a concern about actors where it's like, is this actor good or bad for a role? It's more like are the movies themselves going to be like, should they be made? You know, are they going to put like any effort at all into making them good? Or is
I'm hoping they do. It seems
to me, like I think DC looks at Marvel and it's like we have to do the same thing, and that's why they're rushing like Justice League into existence. That's why they're rushing Batman Superman combo movie, because they're like, well, that's the new thing that everyone likes is superhero combo movies.
Right, and
which is cool.
Which is true.
Yeah.
People do like that, and that's generally the what sells comics in the past.
Yeah.
And even now too, when you see, oh, this one has Daredevil in it. Like, why is he with Spider-Man right now? I want to find out.
Yeah, what's going on?
And you read that, and you just pick that up out of impulse. And then they have like the big events and stuff, which is what they're trying to emulate with the movies, like the Avengers. You know, them teaming up. That's an event. Them fighting Ultron. That's another event.
Yeah, big
people
big
look forward
events
to. And oh shit, I don't remember what it says.
I don't know. To me, it's like they want to do the same thing, which is totally fine, because I love the idea of like combo movies, like having superheroes who should be together,
Right.
Are together in a movie. That's great. That's a good thing that's happened in recent history. It's just like they're not putting in the time and investment that Marvel did, because Marvel spent years just making solo movies, building up to the combo.
Right. Marvel.
They invested the time and
they invested
effort.
the time and money prior, like way before. They like the idea behind the Marvel Studios movies, the Avengers movies, was that they're an independent studio. They, of course, they were given funding and promotional, funding and distribution through Paramount, but they produced the movie independent from a major studio, which is like the first time a major, like big superhero movies were made that way. So
and then Mickey Mouse bought it.
And then Mickey Mouse.
Which is fine. Actually, if anything, that's a good thing, because then they have Disney's. They have economic power,
seal of approval. Yeah, it worked out very well for them.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
But that was the mindset they were going into movies like Iron Man and Incredible Hulk with. It's like, we're an independent studio, so we're going to treat this like an independent movie.
Mm-hmm. And then since they are all under one umbrella, they knew that they could eventually do, your sort of combo.
There was no.
They don't have to worry about legal.
There was no parent company really for Marvel to disappoint if Iron Man and Incredible Hulk didn't do as well as they thought.
Did, yeah.
When you see, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, the parent company, if those movies aren't successful or as successful as they want them to be, the parent company can drop all that Justice League stuff.
Yeah.
With nothing, because they have Lego, they have Harry Potter, they have Lord of the Rings. They're still. Next Hobbit movie,
very valuable properties besides the DC stuff.
Right.
Which is, and they're obviously willing to do it, especially with Green Lantern.
I think, especially them being able to say, oh, we're going to do Green Lantern again, is a good sign of, okay, we do want to make this good. We do want to make this better for fans.
We recognize this was crap,
Yeah.
Yes.
We messed up. Let's try it again. Trust us.
I'm very wary.
Looking at this slate, it's like, the first Justice League is coming out in 2017, so that's not like a big rush. But I think they said that like Wonder Woman and Aquaman would appear in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Right, and they said Cyborg would appear.
And
also.
Cyborg.
So they put in the cart before the horse. It's like they're introducing all the heroes up front and then having their solo movies later.
But we could.
They're not. I mean,
we don't like. They could just be like doing that to like wet our whistles or whatever. But like maybe like she's, I don't know, they're all in the end credit for like half a second.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just a teaser, like Marvel is famous for like doing teasers of what is the next thing that we're going to be doing,
right?
Which is fine. But if they're actually going to shoehorn them in to like rush the whole idea of like combo forward,
well,
before they even have time to
I don't think Cyborg will be Cyborg in this movie.
Yeah.
I think this is very beginnings. Like Wonder Woman will be the Amazonian warrior that we know her to be.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Cyborg and who else were we talking
Aquaman.
about? Aquaman.
Wonder Woman. Yeah.
I think they're going to be, smaller characters that we're just going to see and probably one-off scenes I could imagine.
I guess.
Yeah.
I could just see it going horribly wrong if
I
they,
could
if they
see it going
overstretch
horribly
it.
wrong.
Yeah.
And the one thing that is a redeeming quality about Superman versus Batman, obviously as someone who didn't like the movie, the first Man of Steel, you have no David S. Goyer, who wrote Man of Steel, who wrote the stories for the Dark Knight movies.
Yeah.
Basically, aside from the Dark Knight movies, he's never made anything good. It's true.
Yeah.
He's produced a bunch of stuff, and they usually get canceled.
I
television
use
shows
the
get
internet
canceled.
to
Yeah.
see.
Use the
if
power.
That's true.
You have the power.
But he wrote the screenplay for Man of Steel, which was not good.
Yeah. Well,
General consensus, not good.
two
Sorry,
out of 3. I'm sorry.
2 out of 3
Yeah.
says it's not good. We have, for this movie, we have Chris Terrio, who wrote Argo.
Which I liked Argo.
Argo is a great movie.
Yeah.
And then you have Ben Affleck, who said he was working with Chris Terrio to tune up the screenplay. And we all know Ben Affleck is a good writer, because we've seen his movies and that he directed also. He's good at it.
I know there was definitely a lot of where there's some backlash when he was like cast in the role.
Right,
Which is
it's
like-
backlash because we only remember him being shitty in shitty movies.
Yeah. Daredevil.
Daredevil is one of them.
I'm still wary from Daredevil.
But I've seen him be great in
Yeah.
great movies. You know, Good Will Hunting is one of my favorite movies. I just saw Gone Girl like 2 weeks ago, and he was amazing in
I've
that.
heard a lot of good things about that movie. But
He was great. Like, obviously you can have a lot of different people play that role, but I thought he did
yeah.
just fine.
Just because someone else could have been in that role doesn't
Right.
detract from
doesn't mean
his
that
acting ability in that
no,
movie.
not at all. Not at all. He was great. And so, I mean, I don't think he'll be a bad Batman. It's just a matter of the people behind him to help him
I just think
be better.
I just think the concept is like so prone to fuck up that like it's almost not worth like going. Like I'm so wary. It's unbelievable.
Right. And
But-
you have all the reason to be. You
Yeah.
have Man of Steel and Green Lantern.
I have no pot.
To-
The only
I
pot.
don't. Okay, so if you dislike Man of Steel, fine, but I don't think you can count like that Green Lantern as that has anything to do with the future.
Oh, no,
right
no.
now.
But I'm saying for the studio and for DC, it looks bad. They're past, besides Batman, Dark Knight trilogy.
Which
Since-
I attribute strictly to Christopher Nolan,
Right,
and
of
his
course,
own vision,
and as
yeah.
you should,
Yeah.
because it was totally his thing.
Yeah. It's not like DC made a good Batman movie. It's like we had a director who had a vision for what he wanted to do with it and did a good job, and
Yes,
and you
correct.
see the results and the popularity that it deserves. But
Right. And you can see that evidenced in his other non-Batman films. They are all very good.
Yeah.
But in DC's non-Batman films, you get Superman Returns, not that great. Man of Steel, not that great.
Amazing.
Okay.
This is more
You get Green Lantern, once again, not that great. And then you have these like one-off movies that are totally out of left field. Catwoman with Halle Berry.
Ugh.
Yeah.
oh,
There you go.
don't even need
That-
to speak of it. Yeah.
Yeah. No one talks about that because we just all pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But it happened. And then you have Jonah Hex, starring
I
Josh Brolin.
I kind of like Jonah Hex, to be honest.
But
If Chris can like Superman, destroys
Man of
everything.
Steel.
Superman destroys the world. Then I can like Jonah Hex. Okay.
Superman doesn't
Right,
destroy the
but
world,
Jonah
he
Hex-
saves it.
Yeah. By
Jonah
destroy-
Hex is also not a tentpole character. I don't care if they made a Jonah Hex 2. You know?
No, me either. But I enjoyed that movie somewhat.
Oh,
when I watched.
and Constantine, I guess, is another DC movie that happened in between.
I think maybe
Batman
another one.
Begins and now.
No, there's a
Constantine
TV show now.
Oh, it's
becoming a
TV.
TV show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
For the record, Constantine, the movie, has like my favorite portrayal of the devil ever. Peter Stormare as the devil. He's literally only like in 5 minutes
At the
end of
very end,
movie,
yeah.
But he's so awesome. Like he just like kills Gabriel, and then he's just like, okay, I'm gonna take you to hell, and then like, because he sacrificed himself, he can't take him to hell, and he's just like, I'll cure your lung cancer so you don't die. And then he's just like, all right, so
There's actually a lot of good parts of that movie, but that's like another conversation.
Yeah, I've never even seen Constantine.
No,
so
it's
I'll have to
not-
do my research.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a film. Like there's
Right.
some.
I like it.
I've heard it's alright.
You got Shia LaBeouf in it.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, Shiga LaBeouf.
But
And
what the
Weisz.
point of that is you have all these different non-Batman movies, and they tend to fail in comparison to Batman.
Or just be weird and fringe stuff that, you know...
Right, Constantine and Jonah Hex.
It's not
prime
comparable
examples.
to, like, the mainstream heroes.
Right, and it's such a weird concept to me that they haven't tried to make Wonder Woman. They haven't tried to make
The Flash.
The
The
Flash.
Flash would be so much fun, especially nowadays. You have the technology to make it cool, which is evident in the whole Quicksilver scene in the most recent X-Men movie, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Quicksilver in X-Men, Quicksilver at the end of Captain America: Winter Soldier. Spoilers.
That still is confusing to me, like that they can wrangle that.
I don't know how they did it, but that's kind of cool. I'm okay with it.
No, I'm glad they got it. Like, it's just you know, to me, like, I have like a lot of faith in Marvel Studios because I'm pretty like they didn't. In my opinion, they haven't made a bad movie. A couple of mediocre movies, in my opinion.
Right,
but nothing bad.
Iron Man 2 and 3.
I mean, they're just derivatives of the first Iron Man.
Right,
I mean, the first Captain America, I didn't really care for the whole ending part. But again, it's just origin.
Right.
So it's just
which is inherently boring.
Yeah. No, but I mean, the first part I thought was great. To me, it should have been a period movie. It should have been all World War II period movie, and it was like half period movie, half like sci-fi laser gun
Right.
show.
That's true. They
It's
didn't really
two completely different movies in one, in my opinion.
That's true. Which is totally fair.
So, but like it wasn't a bad movie. I would not call it a bad movie. There's a lot of great elements in it.
I've seen
See,
tons
that
of worse
that
movies.
to me is exactly what you guys are saying about like DC trying to speed up getting everyone together. Like the fact that you could have had a period piece movie and you could have had like afterward like him going into our time movie, but they just kind of stuck it in one movie is like the same idea. It's like speeding up to get him to Nick Fury's time.
Right, to get him to the more interesting stuff.
Right.
For the most part, Captain America in the 1940s is not that interesting.
No, but I'm saying they could have accomplished those.
In 1940, when those comic books were written and he was punching Hitler, they were awesome.
He should have punched Hitler in the face in that movie.
He should have
did
punched
punch
Hitler.
Hitler in the face in that movie.
Did he?
Not real Hitler. When he was doing the USO tour.
Oh,
He punched-
he-
no,
the
I mean
actor
literally
Hitler.
punch Hitler in
He
the
should have
face.
actually punched
Oh,
Hitler.
it should have been straight up corny Americana.
Like, okay, there should have been Hydra. They can do Hydra, but Hydra, like, there were no Nazis in the film. There was only Hydra. Nazis were completely whitewashed out of Captain America, which is like a terrible sign for our civilization. Because if we can't even, if we
don't have a World War II movie with Nazis in it,
if Nazis can't be bad guys because we're afraid of offending the Germans, then that's really bad. Like
is that the reason why?
That's the argument I usually hear is like, well, Disney is distributing the movie across the world. And they make a lot of their money overseas sales. They don't want to offend people.
They didn't even name the movie Captain America when you saw it overseas. It was called The First Avenger, and then Captain America was the subtitle.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes sense. But I'm saying like, I don't think the Germans watching the movie are going to be like, I identifying with the Nazis. You know what
I
I'm
don't think
saying?
so.
Like I think it's.
I hope not.
Yeah, I'd hope not. I'd hope they would understand. Like, of course we don't like the Nazis too.
Yeah.
Like being German and being Nazi are not synonymous, and they shouldn't be.
Well, that's also a thing where it comes down to the story of Captain America, the single movie, and as well as the overarching, plot of the Marvel movies.
Universe,
Is that why introduce Nazi villains when it's like this other group that we are going to be focusing on in the future?
No,
obviously, in retrospect, it totally worked out.
Yeah.
That
No,
we never
I'm just
Hydra'd all that.
it's more just a personal thing because like they could have had Hydra. That's fine. I'm not saying they can't do Hydra. I'm just
Right.
saying Hydra should have
But
been more.
why even waste story time talking about Nazis when let's just cut to the chase. These aren't the real bad guys.
Because it's like that's Captain America's origin. He punches Nazis. Like
That's true.
he's a Nazi. He's from the World War II era. It should feel like a World War II movie. And a World War II movie without Nazis is like not even a World War II movie.
That's true. Well, it's not.
Well, it's not World War II.
Yeah, no, but he's a superhero
I know.
in World War II. Like he's not like trying to save the world. He's literally trying to win the war. Like that's his purpose.
That's true.
you know.
They also, another difference, this is in the second Captain America movie. This isn't a debate, I just like to talk about this. You know, he like pulls out his notepad and it's like things that he's supposed to like read or watch.
Yeah, like, recommendations
that
people get.
That list like changes in every country.
Right.
Which I think is awesome.
Right. That is definitely funny.
Well, and that again, it shows the global mindset of Marvel Studios. And I guess I put it on Disney because now they have.
Can you look up the Chinese name for Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's the funniest movie title I've ever heard.
No, when I was in Italy, when they had it had recently been released. I'm trying to remember what they called it. Or maybe
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Maybe it was not Guardians of the Galaxy. It was another movie. I remember just seeing some really funny translation of like what the movie title was. I can't remember what it was now. Foreign names for movies are hilarious. What do you see?
I'm looking.
Yeah, I think Guardians of the Galaxy might have been like straightforward translation, but there was another movie. What?
No, it's Interplanetary Unusual Attacking Team.
So it's like
that's the Chinese name for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's so funny.
That's incredible. There's other ones too.
What else?
Sam Raimi's Army of Darkness was called Captain Supermarket.
Man, they must be so confused when they walk into these films. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just funny to us because like we don't.
Yeah, maybe they have like double. It's like a double entendre over there. Their word for supermarket and their word for
I don't know,
something else.
Like, I know, I've been told that like for Chinese characters, and when they're trying to translate foreign things, like the actual characters don't make any sense in terms of like describing what it is, but they try to phonetically match the sounds. So they'll just pick two characters that, when you say that together, sort of sounds like the English equivalent or whatever the foreign language equivalent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like Canada is like Canada or something like that. Like those characters mean nothing in terms of like describing what Canada is, but it sounds like Canada, and they're just trying to match the sound of the word, which is unlike. That's not how Chinese works, to my knowledge.
Right. That's interesting. Totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
But I always find it weird that in every language there's a different word for like each country.
Yeah. We should have maybe like final thoughts.
All right.
I don't know.
The DC movies, which was the point of this conversation.
Yeah, but tangents is like the nature of the show. Yeah. That's the whole point, is to go on tangents.
Which one are you most excited for?
Of this, give me the list.
Of the list.
I got it right here.
I need to look at the list again.
Take it.
Okay.
Take it with you.
Most excited for? Can we also do most apprehensive for?
That's fine. Do one and the other.
Do both.
Well,
both of them.
Well, see, I just like the Flash, and I think now that there's a great potential to make a good Flash movie. So I'd say I'm probably most excited for the Flash, just as a concept. I'm really scared for. I'd say Batman Superman. Sounds like a terrible idea. Terrible idea. But Chris.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm most excited for Batman Superman because I think that movie's going to be good, and for everybody that is like, oh my god, this whole thing with DC is a terrible idea, I think it's gonna shut them up.
No, I could totally be wrong. I'm just, I have no historic reason.
And I'm most apprehensive for probably Suicide Squad, because that's like another like squad movie that's coming out like really close to right after Dawn of Justice, and I think it's probably like, I know the Suicide Squad isn't galactic or anything like that, but I think they're just trying to do it because Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Yeah, just like another like a group solo movie.
And I think that's like really, really directly affected by Marvel, and I don't like that.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Dan,
I'm looking forward to Shazam because they've been talking about that movie for the longest time.
Ooh, and rumors say that The Rock is playing Black Adam.
The Rock is playing Black Adam. That's not a rumor.
Not a rumor.
That is
confirmed. Yeah, Rock and Black Adam.
That is good.
What about it being them changing his name to Shazam, which is...
I'm over it.
Yeah.
It's been like this for a few years. everyone who doesn't know the character calls him Shazam anyway, because that's been the title of the comic book since the 70s.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I just, to me, it's weird.
It is kind of weird.
That is weird. I was
Can't say his own name, otherwise he'll turn back into a little boy.
Right. For the record, I was at a superhero party a couple of years ago, and I was Shazam, or Captain Marvel, whatever you want to call him. And there was just like a lot of people there that I guess weren't as nerdy as I am, and they were all like, "Oh, the Flash," because I had like
the lightning bolt.
Because I had a lightning bolt, and I was like, "No, and like I had like different things to make me
cape, the
cape.
mask.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. It's like superhero like comic books are not more popular. If anything, they're less popular.
They're significantly less popular than
the
movies
but
or
movies,
TV shows.
Yeah, like superheroes as like
a concept.
movie or TV characters are popular, but not comic book superheroes are not popular. So
Right.
that is proof that like, you know, if it's not in a movie, then they're not going to
Right, then it's like, oh, who the fuck is this guy?
Which is kind of like infringing on my galactic repertoire because people don't know what the fuck any of the galactic heroes are. Now they have some sense, I guess, with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, even that, it was a great starter.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was very happy with it. Yeah.
Just have only seen, you know, the Avengers movies or superhero movies in general.
It's a great intro.
They really, really like the movie because it isn't. I mean, it is a little bit daunting at first, all these alien names and things, but the more you get into the movie, the more you'll understand everything.
I just want to know.
Worked out
But anyway, say what you.
the one I'm most,
Yeah.
you know, apprehensive about has got to be Justice League, just because bringing all those characters together, making them work with each other, it's very difficult.
Yeah. And the Justice League is like completely different than like most things because it's like really established characters.
Right. And, you know, bringing all the actors together might be difficult. And I guess even to extend that, I'm even more apprehensive about Justice League 2 because they haven't even seen if the first Justice League is good.
They've already confirmed it because like, oh well, the Avengers already has 2 and 3 on the way, so we already have to plan for it.
Yeah, but the Avengers is also the third highest grossing movie ever.
Yeah, but
I know.
You see,
like they don't have the statistics behind it.
No, that's what I'm saying. You just see copycat of everything that Marvel's done. It's like you said, Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy rip off. You got Justice League. Already got to have 2 Justice Leagues to rip off the Avengers and their success. It's just like they're just following in the exact footsteps and trying to catch them.
The sweet irony about all of that is that Justice League was first.
Yeah.
And the Avengers copied them.
Yeah. That is very true. So, on that historical note, I guess
I think that's a good place to end.
We'll end.